I've decided to recommit myself to my daily practices. For some reason, I didn't touch my journal for a month, and it makes me feel really good when I focus on myself. We went to this thrift store and they had free books outside. I'm honestly so grateful. I was like, of course I'm gonna take a free book. We walked around with our coffee and had fun doing that. After that, we went to the grocery store that I work at because they had free garlic bread, and I knew I needed some ground beef anyways. And this grocery store grinds the meat in the back. It comes out being the same price as Walmart, and it's fresher. Plus, with my discount, I at least get a couple dollars off. I got this garlic bread and this beef for like $11.50. It'll make 4 good meals. Zane's haircut was overdue, and yes, we do our haircuts at home. We save ourselves some money. Plus, I've gotten enough practice over the years that I'd say I'm getting pretty good at this. I wish that I could trust Zane to cut my hair, but I'm gonna have to just keep waiting it out. I've got a lot of dead ends right now, and I don't want to trim it myself and mess it up. But look at Zane's fresh new cut. Didn't I do so good? I talked with my longtime friend Maya for 4.5 hours on FaceTime today. We haven't been around each other in person for a really long time, probably since I was like 15. And so it's really nice that I just have a connection that I've had since I was so young. She's somebody that I can just pick up right where we left off with, and I feel very secure in that friendship, and like we'll be friends for the rest of our lives. Distance cannot get between us. Also, we happen to have a very productive FaceTime. I cooked dinner, I folded laundry, I cleaned stuff up around the house. Like the 4.5 hours, she was folding laundry too. Tonight for dinner, we were just making spaghetti. I decided to just put spinach in with my beef. I cooked my beef down from being frozen to actually being ready to cook, and I just poured the spinach in then because it cooks really well with beef. After I cook that beef up, I like to use this stainless steel pan because Zane and I are switching over from toxic Teflon. So I just put this in a little container and set it to the side for later, and this is the same pot that I'm gonna boil my noodles in. We got this pot for like $12 from Goodwill, and it's the start to our stainless steel collection. We really need to invest in more than one pot though. I honestly overcooked my noodles, but you know what? It's fine. It still tasted really good, just not al dente. And the noodles were kind of broken and flimsy, but I'm still grateful. Plus, I have my free garlic bread to come through and save the meal. I was gonna cut it in thirds, but I was like, this stuff looks good. I'm cutting it in half, and I'm eating half a loaf to myself. Half of a loaf. Have to tell y'all how good we're eating because you already know we be eating good every single night. The spinach helps the carbs digest so well, and you always need a vegetable with your meal because vitamins and fiber, okay? Also, I finally made the bed after not having any sheets on it for like a week or two after the flea incident. By the way, I haven't updated you guys on the flea incident. We ended up investing in some expensive kitty collars. It was $60 each a collar plus tax, made it about $250. But luckily Zane had enough money for it. And these were the top rated collars that I looked up online. A topical treatment they could have licked off each other, and an oral treatment would not be long lasting. This collar lasts 8 months, and I totally believe it was worth the investment. The fleas are gone. Good morning, friends. You are totally crooked right now, and we are moving. You're like balancing on so many things. We are moving right now, and it is downpouring rain, but we've got most of the outside stuff done, and now all we have to do is deal with the inside stuff as Zane gets ready to hook the truck up to the hitch. It has just been raining and raining. I am soaking wet. But I am feeling really good about this move. I started by putting the dishes away and anything that is on the counter that could easily roll away. Like securing everything in the sink is an important thing to do right before you're about to move your camper. Plus just putting any other miscellaneous items away because everything will shake and rattle and be thrown around. I can't put the heavy stuff in the slide until we pull the slide in, so I set what needs to go on the dinette benches off to the side while I deal with everything else. I had to get the air conditioning out of the way, just absolutely everything out of the way so that the slide could come in. I put all the decor in a box secured with a blanket and got the slide in, closed all the windows, and we were ready to go. Oh my gosh, we didn't think this day would come so soon. Here, I just wanted to show off the beautiful park we're in now. Oh my gosh, I feel so good to be here. It's so beautiful, and the funny thing is it was only 5 minutes down the road. That is so much nicer than where we are. We feel so much better. There's a secure trail system going on. It's just so beautiful. I'm so excited to take the kitties on a walk now that they have their protection with their flea collar. And this is what we really came to Washington for, was to explore all of these natural beauties. And a lot of national parks in Washington actually require payment to enter, like the Discover Pass or the year-long state park pass, which I think is a little ridiculous, okay? I came here to explore some mountains, and now I find out I gotta pay a bunch of money. So it's really nice to have this trail system in the back, because it was hard to find hikes before. As I cooked dinner, I wanted to talk to you guys about why we decided to move RV park. You might be confused because we originally said like we weren't gonna move for like a long time and that we're pretty much stuck there. Well, earlier this week, we were able to get the part for Zane's truck that he needed, which was the TCM. It didn't throw any codes or anything, that's why it was so confusing. But we finally got a replacement part, and he sent it in to the company that did his transmission, and they tuned the TCM for free under warranty. So that was really amazing. It got sent back in the perfect amount of time. And then we discovered that we can't send UPS to a PO box because it just will get sent back. So we were really freaked out about it. And so this one morning that I had to go to work, we went to the post office the morning that it was supposed to be delivered, and Zane talked to the post office clerk and was like, okay, well, what happens when the UPS truck gets here? Like, am I gonna get my package? The post office worker said no, that they don't do PO boxes at UPS. But as we were sitting there about to leave to go to my work, the UPS guy pulls up in his truck. And so Zane ran to him and was like, do you have a package for me? It won't get delivered here. The guy says it won't get delivered here. And at first he was like, I don't know. And he said you just have to check back at 3 with the post office guy. So we left the post office and he dropped me off at work. And while he was inside dropping me off at the grocery store, he got a call from the UPS worker saying, hey, I have your package. Like, if you can come here real quick before I have to leave. And the post office was 2 minutes away from my work. So he zoomed there, got his package, even though it would have got sent back if we weren't there at that moment. So the truck was fixed and we were able to move our camper. Now to the reason we moved our camper. Well, the place that we were staying at, when I initially booked the spot, I scoured their website up, down, left, right. When you're moving across the country and you're spending $800 on the spot, you want to look over everything, obviously. So I looked over everything and I thought it looked so good for $800. You know, that's a bit more spendy, but I love it. Like, it's a resort. They marketed themselves as a resort. When we got there, I thought the bathroom smelled kind of fishy and sour. And I was trying to ignore this aspect for so long, but when I'd get out of the shower, my feet would feel all slimy and dirty. That's when I discovered a 3D organism of mold just growing on the ceiling, just thriving in its ecosystem. So I took pictures of it, and I will put the picture right here. It honestly was so disgusting, it made us stop taking showers in the shower house and only take showers in our camper. I also found mold all over like the floor tiles, and this was after they cleaned. This was after they cleaned. With the bathroom being as gross as it was, and the promise of a trail access being advertised on the website, we go, and this is the entrance of the trail. The trail was out of service and has been out of service for clearly a long time. So there was the only way that we could like go on a walk around our home and like enjoy the mountains was down this service road. Well, down this service road is sketchy. The RV park right next to ours was sketch town. It was like trash all over, like it was trashy trailer park vibes. So we would always see some uncomfortable things. There was this one time we were walking in the back trail and there was an addict. You can only use your imagination for what they were an addict of, selling a garage sale out of the back of their car, like in the alley. Another time we walked by, 2 people sleeping in the back of a truck with the window open. Like the truck bed of a truck with like one of those truck toppers on it. Yeah, they were sleeping back there with the window open. This other time we walked by, and because this was the only trail system that we could use in the park, there was literally a deal going on, like a DRUG deal going on. And as we walked past these people, we were just having a nighttime whiskey stroll. We were just walking back there, and I see the guy is sitting in one of those sketchy lawn chairs with 2 people meeting him. And as we're walking past in our pajama pants, I see his hands slowly start to reach down to his side. What do you think he's reaching down to his side for? I don't know. I didn't wait to find out. I just kept walking. But in my opinion, I felt unsafe. Not to mention, there was a Mario backpack guy just walking around like he did not have a home. Like he would just walk around the RV park, walk all the way to town, like the 2 miles to town. You see him walk all the way back, and then you still see him walking around. Like he did not go home to rest. No, he was still walking around. I would walk that back trail alone. Mario backpack guy. I honestly just felt unsafe. Zane and I started having like bad dreams about that park and how we had to lock our doors and how we felt unsafe and like keep the gun by the bed. Like that is how unsafe we felt. So yeah, on top of the mold, the trail system, the sketchy people, and the cherry on the cake. The guy who owns the RV park that we were just at has a reputation in town for being a meanie. Very mean. And he comes through my grocery line. Only has to be mean to me 1 time for me to make a decision. I'm done. I'm not giving you any more money. I'm not. Okay? I was literally putting his meatballs in a bag. And he says, "Are you really gonna put them in there like that?" Because I always I always put the meatballs on the, like, okay, I always put any sort of meat on the bottom of the bag. That just makes sense to me. Like, don't get the meat juices on everything else. Like, duh. And you have to pay for bags in Washington, so like, most people only want to get like 1 or 2 bags. Like, I'm not trying to pay 11 cents for a bag. No. So I put his meatballs on the bottom of the bag, and then I start putting spaghetti sauce on top because I'm like, this makes sense. Spaghetti and meatballs. He goes, "Are you really gonna put the meatballs in there like that?" Like, all rude. And I was just so taken aback because I'd been nothing but like a sweetie pie to this man because I knew he was my landlord and I was trying to make a good impression. After he did that, a flip switched in me. I was like, no more, no more. And then come to find out later that he called one of my coworkers a bitch, and she said it's the first time that she'd ever been called a name. So like, he is known to be mean. And he told me that a good day for him was not making anybody mad. That was a good day for him. So that's when I decided that moving here would be the best decision. We contacted the owners. We knew that it was a little above our price range because this is a resort, baby. This is a resort living. Like, we are on a resort. God can take anything bad and make it good. We struck a deal up with the owner and we said like we would do some work in order to get a discounted rate for our spot so we can afford living here. We have to pay for electricity, which we didn't have to pay at the last spot, but it's worth it. Because also, another thing at the last spot, they didn't disclose that getting another car would be outside storage. So they charged us $50 extra a month just to have our car parked there. And it was under the means of outside storage. I'm like, I wouldn't even be mad about it if you disclose properly, like, vehicles and outdoor storage. No, that was sneaky. That was sneaky. That was the last month we paid. And now we're here. So I'm grateful. And that's why we moved. We only realized after we got home that we didn't get any ranch, so I made this special sauce with buffalo sauce, sweet mayo, and ketchup. And I think it'll blend perfectly with the barbecue sauce that is already on the wing. I'm super excited. This is our celebration meal. We feasting tonight, period. This was the only chicken that was left at the grocery store, and I was expecting to get less expensive chicken, but they had barbecue wings, so we were like, why not? We didn't have any milk, so I just used sour cream for the potatoes, and they turned out so good. And you know you always gotta have a vegetable with every meal. So I always make sure to get enough frozen vegetables when I go to the grocery store, just to make it easy on myself. And I kind of burned the chicken a little bit, but honestly, I like dried out chicken more. I just don't like juicy chicken. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but that's me. Not to mention, I just left it in the oven because I was busy editing, so. I've been burning stuff lately. I just like get too confident.